Hi everyone, you're listening to a snippet of episode 104 of the How to Life podcast. If you remember in the last episode, we talked about how to know when it's time to switch jobs. Well, if that hit home for you and you have been thinking that maybe it's time for a change, or maybe you'd like to just start a side hustle, then this episode is going to give you some help with that. Trudy Rankin from Online Business Liftoff is here to talk about how to get started and how to find the people you need so that you can do it right the first time. Hi, Trudy. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back on the show, the How to Life podcast, to teach us about how to create a business and how to find out what you want to do with your life. Can you please reintroduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Trudy Rankin, and I am the founder of Online Business Liftoff, which is a program and a community that helps people start their own online business and then grow it to the level that they want. So everybody sets their own level of success, basically help give people the tools to be able to do that. We work with people who feel like the digital technology and emerging technologies left them behind. And now they're feeling a little bit frightened and they don't really know how to use that technology to create their own online business. We really like to focus on just helping people get past those barriers so that they can go and get themselves and their business to the next level. We basically teach people how to come up with an idea, how to validate that idea, and it's quite a good process.
What are some types of skills that could be turned into a business which most people wouldn't even consider?
Well, you'd be surprised. I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the people that was in our community speaks a second language. What she figured out in terms of a business idea was she realized that for elderly people who are in aged care homes who spoke the same language that she did, the dementia and the Alzheimer's would kick in and they would lose English as a second language. And so they would want to do something like they would want to go to church and understand what's going on, but they'd lost English as their second language. And so she developed a business where she would take these people to these events, whether it was church or something else, and she would just interpret for them. And her customers weren't those elderly people. Her customers were the children of those elderly people who are going, I don't have time to take mom to church. And so she developed her whole business around something that she had had since she was a little kid. I've got somebody who has a history of domestic violence. They managed to get some coping skills that helped them move beyond. And she suddenly went, oh, I've managed to do this. Maybe I could help other people do this. And so she's started up a business. It's called Beyond Trauma, that basically helps people stop using the coping mechanisms that used to get them through the day and start developing new habits that actually liberate them from their past. Another person who liked art and liked drawing and painting decided that when they were made redundant from their job as a senior manager, they had to decide, well, do I want to do something different or do I just want to try and get another job in this same area? And they decided to go with their art. And they've developed a business whereby they teach their specific art style to other people. And they've got online courses and offline courses. And it's been really cool just seeing that whole business develop and grow.
I think another thing that deters people from starting their own business is they don't have the education. What do you have to say about that?
The first thing is that you do not need to have a university education to start a business. And even if you do have a university education, most of the time when people start online businesses, it's not in the area that they studied. There's so many different ways of coming up with some way of helping people that doesn't rely on education. It relies on the experiences that you've had and how you've learned how to cope. And then you develop that skill a little bit more and you can use that to help other people.
What about money? Do you have to have a ton of money to start a business?
No, but it helps. But you can start a business for no money for a little while. I want to add that caveat because at some stage you are going to need a website. And when you do have a website, you have to pay the hosting costs. You've got to buy the URL and things like that. But it is possible for a little while to have a business and use social media to be able to point people to what you do before you have to have a website. So if people are thinking about that and they're going, okay, I can use social media, I get that bit, but how do I get people to pay me? Well, you can easily set up PayPal or other payment gateway tools. You just have to set up an account. It doesn't cost anything to set up the account. but you do have to pay a commission every time somebody pays you something. And that's an acceptable cost of doing business.
But as far as the tech knowledge, how do you manage that?
Well, we have trainings that we make available to people who are part of our community to help them actually get started with their website, what you need to do to make sure that it's safe and secure, because security is a big deal these days. And then we also have the ability for people to just ask us questions. You can come in and ask and say, having a problems with this, and we'll go, oh, okay, you just do this. Or we'll go away and create another little tutorial. So I have a YouTube channel. So if people are interested in just checking out some of the videos that we do have that are outside the community, we have an Online Business Liftoff YouTube channel. And there's quite a few videos on there now that's how to do this and how to do that. It's a really great community. So we have Q&A sessions on a weekly basis where you've got a question, you can come in and ask it, or you can just post it in the forum. We have hot seats. We have co-working sessions that are community-led co-working sessions where you just show up and you say, hey, I'm going to work on this for right now. You work on it for 20 minutes. You come back and say, hey, this is what I got done. And it's like a little bit of an accountability thing that sort of helps with the procrastination side of things. But it's just a really safe and supportive environment where people celebrate each other's wins and help each other out.
How much time is required when you start your own business?
It kind of comes down to how much time do you have available to work on your business. You do need to set aside a certain amount of time. Typically, you want to sort of set aside somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week, if you can, so that you can absorb the training material and then actually go out and use that to do the tasks. Because until you actually physically do the things that you've learned about, you're not going to embed that learning in your head and keep it there so that you can reuse and reuse and reuse.
What are some ways that you can make money that you teach your community?
Oh, it's one of the things I love talking about because there's so many different online business models where you can earn cash, earn money. One of the primary models is to create some sort of digital asset that people can pay for and download. And a digital download is nice because it's going to keep on making you money while you're going and doing something else.
Evergreen.
Evergreen, yes.
All of this is in your community. You teach and talk about it within your community. What kind of courses and things do you offer in there?
We have your Start Your Business course, which takes you from no idea to actually having all your basic digital assets that you need to then grow your business. So that's your website and your sales funnel and an email list. And then your Online Business Boost, and basically taking your business to the next level, where you basically then start to focus a lot more on the social media marketing, content marketing, SEO, so search engine optimization. So when people go hunting for this problem that they have, they need a solution, your solution pops up in the search results, and basically focusing very much on helping people create mini courses or a workshop. We help them create an interactive tool to go with it so that when people do the workshop, they are using this interactive tool to help embed the learning. So it really helps give their customers a boost and helps them move along their journey a lot faster. And of course, my favorite, once you get to a much more advanced level, is using quizzes that help you segment your customers. And then you give each type of customer segment the help that they need that's special to them and personalized to them. So that's kind of way more advanced, but that's the range of what we cover in our community.
What do you think are the benefits of the community for anybody who's on the fence about maybe joining?
In order to master the skills and to get your business to the place where you want it, it's hard work. And it can get depressing because when you're doing this kind of work, you're doing it by yourself typically. And when you're on your own all the time, little problems become magnified. So being part of a community gives you the ability to make sure those little problems stay little, because you can get help to solve them. People can spot when you're feeling down and they go, hey, how was your day? What's going on? So you're part of a community that cares about you. It's supportive. And they're also focusing their attention on the same sorts of things that you're focusing on, rather than maybe people in your network who are going, why don't you just go get a job? Why are you trying to do this? This is such a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. You're with people who are supporting you and doing what you do.
I agree with you on that. Trudy, will you tell us about your community, how to find it?
Oh, for sure. So you can basically go to my website, which is Online Business Liftoff, and you'll be able to find the community through there. That's the quickest way to get there. And you can get your first month free. so that you get a chance to look at it, see whether or not it's going to suit you. And people tend to stay because we do provide enormous value, just helping people just get over the barriers.
Trudy, yes. Thank you very much for sharing this information, for coming back on. You are such a valuable guest. I really appreciate you. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much.